book this?
Among them kicks.
Both these guys! 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 At least this ref can count. Remind me next time I'm bringing a seat cushion. A seat cushion. I got like hemorrhoids or something going on. Yeah, that's not good. Here we go. We're getting some technical shit in. Here we go. Oh. Beautiful, man. Yeah! People don't know what match is, dude. Man, where does he get them pumps? They still make them? $200.
Yeah, those are OG pumps.
Right. Yeah!
Oh!
This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. Let's go down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
All right, welcome everybody to the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel. This is the semifinals, judging and critiques for Indie Idol. Yes, we have 4 competitors left. We have TJ Meyer versus Jamie Eternal. We have Mongo versus Davison Sarai. Before we get into all of that, I do want to welcome the special guest judge, the one, the only, the Godfather of Michigan Indie Wrestling, the DBA himself. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, y'all. I got a bad connection. I'm out here in buttfuck Egypt, man. So if y'all lose me, I'm sorry.
Okay. And then, of course, the Michigan's only MC, Michigan Indie Wrestling only MC, Johnny Delicious. Hello and welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
And then we have the cigar smoking down there. So you have like a bunch of titles now. You're the PWL TV champion. You're the FU Trios champion. Are you still the Cruiser Core champion?
Absolutely.
You're the Cruiser Core champion. What else are you?
Well, I'm also, out of state, I'm the Mr. Big Bucks champion. And most importantly for this show, I'm the reigning, but not defending, Indie Idol champion, baby.
That's right. 2021 Indie Idol champion. So, awesome sauce. Man, we are at the semifinal. It is a first blood, no DQ, no pinfall, no, just basically no rules. First blood wins. We have, we're going to go through TJ Meyer versus Jamie Eternal verse, but we're going to go promo by promo first, all the way around the table. We'll start off with TJ Meyer. I one bad thing I can say, there's one bad thing I'll say about this was in the beginning, and action. I don't know if that was supposed to be there, but it was. So it kind of was like, ugh. All right. Overall, though, after that point, the promo was overall good, right? Good location. I like that. He told us a story, not only from this Indie Idol of 2022, but going back to 2021 in the first round where he was eliminated, and now here he is in the semifinal. And then he gave, again, a story. Who, what, where, why. I can't ask for much else out of a promo. I really can't. Johnny Delicious, what do you say?
It was pretty good. Like I said, like you said, we have the issue of the action in the beginning. Don't know if it was supposed to be there. Context, I gave him pretty high score, right? He hit everything he needed to hit. Did fairly well telling the story. I was excited for it. I will say a couple things, like everything was good. There was a few stumbles, the action thing. I really think that this late in here, especially trying to hit to that next level, those small things are really going to matter. And I really think that those small things are really what's going to hurt people.
Right. Absolutely.
The location was cool. The one thing I will say about a lot of this one, and it was a great TJ Meyer promo. I didn't see the lost soul in this. I didn't see the angry TJ that I normally see. I was expecting a little bit different, I guess, because he was going against Jamie Eternal. So I was expecting a little bit of a change. Again, aesthetically, like location was good, but like the t-shirt, like you look like you just walked out of Aeropostale. So I'm like, all right, man, like you're just going for it, right? The emotion didn't really go anywhere. But again, it was TJ. It wasn't the lost soul, and that's where I kind of lost it on that. So character was down a little bit. Definitely gave him some context and some emotion in it because he did have that. But the other two categories could have been better, man. And I guess that was it. I just expected more,
Okay. All right, ABZ.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the good. I cannot believe from last year to this year, the difference in TJ's promos overall. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just been absolutely crazy. The character feels like it's leveled up. He's found himself. That is all amazing. And he's been delivering some great promos throughout this competition, especially in the back half. Now, this promo I felt was good. I did not think it was great, and I'm going to get into why. So again, the and action, I can almost guarantee you was not supposed to be in there. And the reason is because it was never acknowledged and never brought back up. And if you're going to add that kind of content, that little thing at the beginning, like it's okay, especially if you're going to make the cameraman a character. I really expected that to happen towards the end of the promo, where after, I heard the end action, I'm like, oh, that must be there on purpose. This can't be an editing error. And I love the location, and I liked that TJ was up, that it was shooting up, right? Which meant I was like, oh, something's going to happen to the cameraman now. Okay, that's what I was prepared for. Okay, maybe like blood's going to get dumped on it. Maybe he's going to grab it. Like something's going to happen because you introduce the cameraman as a person. Okay, that didn't get paid off. A small nitpick here. There were a few little stumbles. When you opened with the Jamie Eternal, here we are once again, semifinals, Indie Idol. Last time you knocked me out the first round. The first round! And I haven't forgotten. This time it's a first blood match. A first blood match! It's like, okay, you're using the reiteration to make your point 2 times in like back-to-back sentences. And that was kind of like a little bit rough for me. I know like they were separated by maybe 15 seconds, but it's like, there are so many different avenues to choose to try to like make something feel important, to make your point, to change the levels. And you used the same one twice right after another, like kind of in the same 30 seconds. Like maybe I could forgive it if you did one at the beginning and one towards the end. But they were kind of there, and it was kind of, you did it almost like throwaway lines when you were really trying to make a point on both of them. And up until that point, I felt like you were like cold taking it almost, and that's good. That's fine. You know what I mean? You're cold taking it. They're filming. You're going. I know, we all have been there. And then, like, it was good, but there was a moment in this promo where it got great for me. And the emotion really showed up when you went into, I have bled, I have cried. And that was the TJ that I wanted to see. Like, right there, I was like, oh, now, like, in that moment, like, at the beginning, you were saying, like, here we are again. Like, you were kind of doing the promo thing. And at that point, it was like, oh, now he's TJ. Now the method acting is kicked in. Boom, he's in character. He just walked through the curtain. This is that dude. And it wasn't even because he was, like, screaming. It wasn't even about anger or intensity. It was about, like, because there were attempts at intensity earlier. It was more that, like, you could see it in his eyes, you know what I mean? And the tone of his voice changed in that moment. And for the rest of the promo, as he cut it, I was like, oh man, we're only getting 30 seconds of this. I want 2 minutes of this. Like, this is what we need for the beginning. And that's also why I was so convinced that we were, like, something was going to happen to the cameraman. Like, oh, we're going to pay this off. But it didn't really happen. I did like that he hit the pay attention line twice in the go home of the promo, right towards the end. That part I liked quite a bit. I also gave him a pretty high score on context. He got a pretty high score on emotion, a 9. It could have been a 10. But it ended up a 9 because of that. And character-wise, it was an 8.5 because, like, where was the crowbar? You talked about how you're going to bash his head in with the crowbar, yet you weren't carrying it. You were wearing a regular T-shirt. It wasn't all the way TJ for me. And the thing that kind of got pinged the most was the creativity, especially because, you could have cut that out if it was a throwaway line at the beginning, the action, but it didn't have to be that. It could have been something more, and I was expecting it to be more, and it didn't get paid off. And he didn't pay off the crowbar line. I thought the ending, I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to bring out the crowbar. Didn't pay it off. So overall, I think a good promo. I think far improved promo, but I think TJ cut some better ones during the actual tournament. And frankly, I felt like this was, like, maybe not at the effort level I was hoping to see towards this, but overall very good.
Right. Fair enough. All right. DBA, been sitting there waiting patiently.
It's my turn, huh?
Yeah.
All right. First and foremost, I want to thank y'all for having me. I never been a judge of promos. I really don't judge promos. So, I mean, y'all can take what I say with a grain of salt. I don't give a damn. But with that being said, I agree with everything AVZ said, since I don't know shit about promos. He just was long-winded and I was just agreeing with his shit. So, but no, to be honest, that's not the TJ that I've seen. Like I said, I really don't watch promos, but I have been watching a couple lately. I haven't watched any of this stuff except the finals. Let that be known. The promos that I have seen of TJ were of the Lost Soul. And like AVZ said, he didn't have the crowbar. And like y'all all said, the action at the beginning, don't know if that was supposed to be there or not, but I found that kind of weird. And like I said, I have seen better promos from TJ than that. It was good. I like the context. The character was there except the crowbar, like we all said. And the content was there. It's just I have seen better from TJ. And I'm with AVZ. I thought I was going to see something different with the camera angle, with the cameraman holding the camera down that way. I thought something was going to happen, like a super kick, blood, just like he said. I thought something was going to happen, and that didn't pay off for me. But other than that, I thought TJ could have did better, to me.
Okay, so now on to Jamie Eternal, his opponent. So I'm looking at my notes here. It was a...
Wait, we put it to notes?
Well, I have notes. I have. Thanks.
No, it's whatever.
Yeah,
I failed. I ain't taking no notes.
All right. Well, I have notes.
It's that impeccable memory you have, though.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a Jamie Eternal, or it was a Jamie Eternal promo. The video editing was great. The two different well, not different. It's the same, but you know what I'm saying. Blood covered, not without, one with, both delivering a message. And I'm going to say the end there, if you have to watch the whole thing. And at the end there, you see the King of Strange style, the blood falls, and then I'm a little woozy, and he falls out. Sound effects, Jamie Eternal, great promo. He's turned it up to he's turned it up since that loss to Davison. And I got to say, I think he took this one I have him scored as winning this one. So, Mr. Delicious, to you.
So I'm going to go with his after credits scene popped me.
Yep, absolutely.
We all knew it would because I mentioned it before. It was one of those things where in a previous promo, I was like, if there's an after credit scene, like that's where it's going to be. Like, I'm going to love it. He definitely popped me on that one. And that's also knowing your audience, right? Like, and that's where I think Jamie Eternal really stepped out of his shell on this one. Is he paid attention and knew that audience and what they would want to see, even if it was just myself. But I know we've talked about it before. That really plays into a promo, right? Like, you know who you're cutting it for, and you know where you're going. The cutting in and out was pretty good. It was normal. I've seen Jamie do better in a lot of this stuff, but that was a pretty good concept. The one thing that really stood out to me is his wordplay on a lot of stuff that he was doing with, like, the painting of the walls and the dripping and all that kind of stuff. Like, the way he played it off for some of the things he was saying and actually, like, motioned for it, I thought that gave his context a lot higher of a score, which I was really proud of. The one thing I would have loved to have seen, though, would have been either the machete, him having the crowbar, and him actually painting blood on the wall would have been great. But I digress. It would have been a little bit more visual for me. And just like TJ, it's like a little bit more visual. And I think these two would have been top tier again. But I do as well score Jamie on this. And I know we're going for that route. So, but it was close. It was close for these two.
Over to you, Mr. ABZ.
Okay. So this promo, for me, this was like kind of a bit of a back and forth. There were aspects of this promo that I absolutely loved. Mm-hmm. And there were aspects of this promo where I was like, oh no. And I will go about it, as I said, 10 on context for me, because everything was about blood. It was first blood. You talked about TJ's paid off catchphrase. You put him over with that. I love that. Again, the emotion, 9. I've seen a little bit more, but like in this instance, when you stream back and forth with cuts like that, sometimes the emotion and how you say things can get a little bit tangled up, and it creates a little bit of a disconnect between the shots. But you didn't see that here with Jamie. Like, not at all. It felt like they flowed for me, and that's really big. And that's like, you can tell that not only has he done this before, but he's done it and he's learned it. He's gotten, he was so flawless with that. It didn't feel like, even though he's cutting back and forth, it did feel like it was like one train of thought, one, coherent statement coming out of him. Now, here was the thing that I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. Because it felt like this promo had a couple of end lines kind of towards the middle, and it was kind of strange for me with that. So when he said, I'm coming for you, TJ, I'm going to paint the walls. I'm going to paint the walls with your blood. And that felt like a closing line, and it switched back. And then he hit like what I felt was like almost like another closing line with like, it's time for you to pay attention. And I was like, great. And then it kept going. And I was just like, no, why? You closed it. And then you made it even bigger and you closed it again. And it was great. And then the line afterwards with the boogeyman is real and you found him. I was like, oh no. Like, I was like, okay, it's good that you used the House of a Thousand Corpses reference, but it felt like you were just trying to get it in. And it felt like in a match where like, oh, there's the finish. Let's go home. It's like, and then you do another little bit. And I was just like, no, we didn't need the extra. Like, we didn't need the extra flip-de-doo. Like, you just killed him. Don't, like, that's the end. What are we doing?
I need the flip-de-doo.
Falsies, bro. Falsies.
right? I was like, yes, I get it. But the thing was like, I was like, oh, there was a falsie. I felt like the paid the blood red, and then coming back with the with the other line about the pay attention. It's time for you to pay attention. Now, okay, good. Now it's back to him. Boom. And then I felt like if that ended there, I would have popped even more for the comedy at the end, which I liked a lot. Which is cool because I think he's the only one who really did any form of comedy in these final four, where like comedy's not bad. Comedy's good. You know, you can do comedy, just make it make sense and make it work. And I'm getting woozy. Boom, fuck. I was like, yes, that popped me. Now, right. I don't know if I would have done that like in a pure promo, but for this competition and for he did know his audience, that was very funny for me. But I scored this one again for Jamie, and he got a 37 from me. So strong showing, was really good, very creative.
Okay, so DBA.
What? Go ahead.
Jamie Eternal. I was just saying. Jamie Eternal. What'd you think?
Jamie Eternal, I liked his promo. I have only seen maybe 2 of his promos ever. Like I said, I really don't watch promos. I'm not a promo guy. I really liked it, how he changed it up and did it, what y'all call it, split or 2 different ways or whatever. Excuse me. Or how he did it, one with the blood, one without the blood. Uh-huh. Excuse me, my allergies are fucking up. I like the way he did it 2 different ways with the blood. I gave him a lot on emotion and on content. Like I said, I really liked it. He did it a different way. It kind of scared me and freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, am I watching like a little short movie or some shit? I don't know. I had him beating TJ with that one. Like I said, that wasn't the best promo that I seen TJ do. And I thought that was really good and clever what Jamie did. And I like the end, like AVZ said, the ending with the woozy, that's good for a competition. But for a regular promo, I wouldn't do it. And normally I don't stay to the end of the movie, but this time I did. And I popped for that little woozy spot.
All right. So thanks to TJ Meyer and congratulations to your semifinal. Unfortunately, you have been defeated by Jamie Eternal. And Jamie Eternal moves on to the final. So there's one. We know one right now. Jamie Eternal moving on to the final. So that moves us on to the next match, Mongo versus Davison Sarai. So we're going to talk about Mongo's promo first. And I want to say, first of all, concerning Mongo, again, this is him mixing it up. This is a little bit outside his realm. He's, not doing something a little bit different, but kind of the same, right? It's a more serious Mongo than what we're used to seeing. And I think you have to be that serious when you are taking on somebody like Davison, who's 5-0 and has been building a strong character arc here with us in the Idol for sure. I just don't think it was different enough to take out Davison. That's my opinion. I did score him high on his creativity in his context, his character. And I scored him high on his emotion because when he dropped the bitch I want to watch Davison whoop his ass. I love Mongo. I love you, brother. But after you called her, you made me mad, and I wanted now. So you got the emotion out of me, dude. So, but yeah. So let's go to Mr. Delicious.
Right off the bat, context was a 10 for me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mongo is the only one who has actually mentioned it being an intergender style matchup.
Yep.
That really played into it. He even said, and I know a lot of people who are not fans of intergender matches, he played up on that. He didn't want to do it, but yes, and 100% I know that DBA is not a fan of him. He didn't want to do it, right? He didn't want to put his hands on her, but like that's what the match was. That's what's booked. So that played huge for me. Like I really saw it. This is heel Mongo. This is Mongo heel. I loved it. I thought it was channeling his inner Jake the Snake Roberts, right? Like kept it quiet, kept it low. You had to listen to him what he said, and when he had that instant moment, like you said, the emotion popped out. there it was, and you paid attention, and then it brought it in for you. I loved adding in the photos, keeping the music in the background, still advertising your merchandise
Without
even though
really
you weren't advertising your
right. I
merchandise.
liked it.
Right? There was that. Location again. It's a thing. Like, it's okay. I would definitely say he stepped up in the editing process on this one.
Oh yeah.
No cameramen were killed. Right? Like, great for that. And that portrayal of calm to scary is what really got me on this one. And I put that as a really high scoring on this one. But this is the Mongo that I love. I love heel Mongo. This is the Mongo I want to see, where Mongo just wants to kill somebody no matter what he does. So I scored this one pretty decent.
Fair. ABZ.
I also gave him a 10 on context. And I scored him very high on this promo. I really, really liked what he did here. This is heel Mongo. And when you said Jake the Snake Roberts, I'm like, bang, that was the very first thing that I was going to talk about. It was very Jake the Snake. Everything that he said was slow and deliberate and mean. The imagery was mean. He showed, with like Darren McCarty, the friends of Mongo, like, it was cool. You're showing look, I'm at a higher level than you. Look at what I've done. Look at the people that I've beaten up. You know what I mean? Look, you have it. Like, look at the level of these people that I've worked with. I've been in here for 15 years, and that was good. The size, and love or hate intergender matches. I think they have their place, but but I feel like it's a very delicate thing where it needs to be done just right. And I think he did it perfectly in that it's an opportunity to get like next level heat. And he did, like, in this, like, without having to scream and yell and throw things, he changed the level without screaming and yelling in the line for 15 years in this business. I always prided myself on never putting my hands on a woman, and I loved that line. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a slip there, I think, and like a quick camera glitch fling. I was like, I was a little bit distracted there on a beautiful line that sets up where he goes, you're the bitch who just won't keep her fucking mouth shut. And he didn't scream, he didn't yell, but in that moment, it was like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, here we go. And then he goes right into the, he's going into the finish here with Mongo loves blood. It makes Mongo happy. There's no merch sales. There's no t-shirt sales. But then there was a little bit of a disconnect for me going into the finish here. When he goes, it's going to give Mongo so much satisfaction. There was a little bit of a slip right there. And I don't, I'm not going to kill you on like slips usually, but at this level, I have to bring it up. And the problem was the slip came in the go home. And it was in the finish. It was almost like, boom, he's about to hit the big move off the top rope. Boom, boom. And like getting to the top rope, he just slips a little bit, but he still gets to the top and hits the moonsault. Like, it did happen. But it was like, oh, we nobody saw that little slip getting up there, but we saw, but we did see, what I mean? That extra little half second there. Aside from that, I thought this was a very good promo. It had really good flow. And most important for me, it made me want to buy a ticket. It made me want to watch this match. Like, not just that I wanted to watch this match online, not just that I wanted to watch this match, later on, or the highlights. I didn't really care about the highlights. I wanted to watch this match for the story that they were going to tell. And it made me want to buy a ticket to this show just to watch this story unfold. So I actually scored him very, very high on this one. And I gave him a 37 and a half.
I got him at 37, so glad I feel good. Okay, so now we're going over to the Godfather, DBA.
Well, first of all, let me apologize if y'all hear a lot of noise in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm multitasking. I know y'all say y'all hate being in cars with promos and all that, but I'm at Michaela's gymnastics. She's doing gymnastics, so I'm doing that, and I'm trying to do this. But I love Mongo's promo. I scored it real high, especially the content. Like Johnny Delicious said, I am one of the people that hate intergender matches. I'm very old school. I can go 100 reasons why I hate him, but I loved how Mongo did the build up to it. When he said something about when he called her a bitch, I got into it. Then I was like, oh yeah, Mongo gonna fuck her ass up right now, and I really got into it then. And like I said, I'm not an intergender person, but I dig it, and that's a match I would want to see. So I'm glad y'all built this match up so Mongo can kick her ass.
Okay. So now we're gonna move on to Davison Sarai, who, by the way, is undefeated in this so far. I went through a roller coaster of emotions in this one. I was like, I'd go here, I'd go there, I go here, I go there, I'm all over the place while watching this, which was not a bad thing. There's parts of this promo where I'm just like, I'm sucked in, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm amazed or I'm just like, oh my God, what am I watching here? You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a good way. The end. So there's all this build up and it's this dramatic and the music, like Faces of Death kind of style. That's what I get out of it. The music is this Faces of Death and the blood and the scribble and a very, very messed up individual we're getting a picture out of here, right? And right at the end, and I want to say also she did a good job of relating to Mongo and bringing Mongo either to her level or lifting him up a little bit higher. And the end where she just, I'm gonna take all your blood, whatever, and it's just like, whoa. All right, so I really enjoyed that. And this one, I want to buy a ticket. I definitely want to buy a ticket. Take my money. Just take my money now. DBA knows all about taking my money. I just send him money out of nowhere for no fucking reason. Here, take my money. Anyways, all right, Mr. Delicious.
That's what it's all about.
Money for no reason.
Right.
That's what it's all about. Just take the money. No, that's what it's all about. That's really where this is going with that. So in the beginning, I was kind of hesitant on scoring the emotion. I had to watch this one twice. The end is really where the emotion hit it for me. But also in the same context, right? Like, I'm a firm believer that when you use swear words, the more you use them, they become less hurtful, right? So you have to use it in the right spot. We've talked about it all season for this. I could have gone without her using fuck in this, right? Like, I could have gone without using drinking your fucking blood. It really wouldn't have mattered at this point. But I think it was one of those things where if Davison could have kept with the mental capacity of tearing her opponents down verbally all that time without stooping to their level, I think that would have really hit a lot harder for me personally. But within these vignettes that Davison has been doing, the newsreels were real good. Like, the editing was awesome. Here's where I disagree with you, Cody, right?
Okay.
Like, you said that all the context and everything, like, I get the Faces of Death thing. I love that. But some of the things that were showing, I was like, where are you going with this? Where is this going? Yes, you brought it back to where it was and you made it all make sense. That's really what matters. But I would say in today's professional wrestling fandom, if you lose somebody that early, they're not going to watch anymore, right? If they don't know where it's going and you bring it back later, they're going to lose it. And I think that's really where the downfall of this one was. It was great, especially because we've been doing this all season. But I think I look at it like DBA coming in brand new. Like, I feel there were points where somebody like him or a new fan could have been really confused as to what the hell was going on in this video before actually finding out what was going on with this video. And a lot of people will flip that off. We live in the day and age of GIFs and social media, of Snapchat, right? Like, it's short and sweet. Get me in early and I'll stay till the end, just like I did with Jamie Eternals. I'll stay till the end. But you need to get me in early and I can't be confused in the beginning. That brought me down a little bit on creativity and context. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and be that guy and tell you, I tied these two
Oh, you
unintentionally tied them, but it's a good thing we have a special guest judge because I unintentionally tied them and I just now realized it. So it's on you guys now.
Okay. So let's go to AVZ. I like how you did that.
He's so mad at me right now.
Because if he, dude, you better not, AVZ. You better not. I swear to all that is holy, I will pay DBA to give you a flying elbow, and it has to be flaming.
Okay. I am going to give my critiques first.
Okay.
So
Uh-oh.
I feel like for the first time, I have a lot of critiques.
Man. What do you mean?
And I had a lot.
Time?
Again, I'm going to start with the things that I like.
We got cliff notes before, and now we're getting the actual story.
Right. Well, before, like everything that she had done, I felt like it made more sense in this one. Again, with the good Bray Wyatt all over this one. It was spooky. It opened with the showing, look as she bursts the field of corpses, and then right into the imagery of the witch, and you kept going back to it. Witchcraft, all the way through. But you, without going full spooky, you brought it back to the real world. You showed all those news clips. You did scream and yell, and I could also have done without the fuck bomb in there for like, it's like, it's not really who you are, right? You're the linguist. You're so good at wordplay and you're so verbose. Do you really, like, in that moment you didn't need to? There was a more creative way to maybe have said that. I love the blood and the allusions to society's downfall going forward and how you have to go back to go forward. So I understand that she's relating to Mongo here. So she's becoming, her own primitive form, and that I liked quite a bit. Now, what I did not like was that, and what I pinged you on the most, by the way, is that this isn't the Davison character, really. Like, and it never went back to it. I thought like maybe it would all like boom spirals back and boom, she's in the chair. Like, okay, now she's the therapist for a second before boom, like hitting that ending the way you did, which I loved. It was, you're Davison, you're a technical wrestler, right? And you're a very technical promo, if that makes sense. So, I wanted to see you bring maybe that up, and that you are a technical wrestler. He is power. How is that going to, what's that going to look like inside of this match? You're a submissions expert, how is that going to happen, And I felt like the job of a technical wrestler often is to slow the match down. And I felt like you just kept on with the build and the build and the build and the build. And not only with promos, but also with, in a match, if that's your specialty, you kind of are playing their game, much like Johnny Delicious said. You're playing Mongo's game rather than making him play yours. And that was a little bit for me, but I was entertained the entire time. I was very, very entertained, and it did feel like a vignette. But that's not bad in this context. It's a video promo competition. Vignettes are very effective. Like, this wasn't a promo that I wanted to see live in the middle of the ring. It was like a segment happening backstage. All of a sudden, boom, the lights go out. Boom, this shows up on the monitor. This is the Bray Wyatt promo right before, we're here. Boom, with it at the end, and then your music hits. That was what I felt about this, and it made me very excited for the match itself. It made me very excited for the match proper, and I did want to buy a ticket, and I do want to see this match. Like, man, like, I want to see this match after these two promos. So I gave her a 10 on creativity. I thought this was a very, very creative promo. I thought you delved into a side of yourself that you hadn't done yet, but it was an abrupt change into that. And so a lot, again, as Johnny Delicious said, a person who had never seen you before, doesn't know this, is going to maybe not really understand what's going on. You might lose them early. You did bring them back towards the end, and I did like that. And this is a very interesting thing here, because I felt like in the two promos compared to each other, Mongo hit a lot better on the macro of the promo itself and stumbled on the micro. And I felt like in this, Davison like nailed the micro and kind of faltered a little on the macro. And I did have these two tied. So, as to not do that,
Killing me, Smalls.
I want to hear what DBA says. I'm going to think about this a little bit harder. And, we'll figure out what we have to do if we have to do that. So
ABZ is known to change his scores. So
yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
40. All right. But yeah, I did have 37 to 37 here.
Okay.
37.5, 37.5 to 37.5.
Oh man. All right, DBA.
It's on me, huh?
Well, I mean, I got a score.
I'm gonna be honest. This was the first time I ever seen Davidson's promo ever. First promo ever. Now I was about 4 or 5 crown apples in, plus some other things because it's Juneteenth. So I'm celebrating a little bit. When I first started watching the promo and I saw the news clips, I'm like, bro, what the fuck am I watching? I don't know what the fuck is this about. Then as the promo went on a little bit, I'm still like, I don't know what the fuck she talking about. I don't understand it. And it took towards the end for me to understand where she was going with it. I was like, oh, okay, this is about Mongo. Because at first I'm like, what the fuck she talking about? Human life and this and that. I thought we were supposed to be talking about first blood. So like I said, it didn't hit me till towards the end of the promo. What was she talking about? And I judged it where Mongo won by 1 point in my eyes.
Oh, you got Mongo by 1. I had Davison by 3.
All right. So Cody,
Yeah.
what do we do now?
ABC, what are you thinking? Because if you have that would have Davis. If I throw my score in and we throw his score and he said he had her by 1, that means Davison wins by 2.
Yeah, that's how we've done it up until this point. That is the tiebreaker that we have used consistently. And I think it's only fair that we continue that, especially, if we are to consider the competition up until this point. She has yet to lose. She scored a 40. Mongo did get a tie, and based on seeding, Davison is above her in this. So again, I 37.5, 37.5, both were strong in opposite directions. I wanted to see this match both ways. Like, both people want to make me buy a ticket. I think that we should go with what we have done up until this point. I think Davison by 2.
Davison moves on.
Davison by 2.
Wow. So now I'm the asshole, right? Okay. It's all good. So there it is.
Only to Mongo. Only to Mongo.
Right. Well, you're not an asshole in this situation. Like, really, it's like these were both great promos. You know what I mean?
I agree. This is why it's hard to do this.
This is why it's hard.
But
this is why they pay handshakes.
Right. So in the finals, it is a rematch from regular season, we shall say. So now we have 5-1 Jamie Eternal versus 6-0 Davison Sarai. So this one I'm going to tell you, everybody out there watching and everybody, I'm nitpicking every little thing. Any little thing you do wrong, I'm nitpicking it because it's the finals. And every promo, except maybe maybe 2 promos out of the 2 of them have been not so stellar, right? So that's what we got to do, right? I mean, you got to take.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the finals. It's the finals.
Now,
this is it.
Now So is this where we do the cage match now?
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. It's Hell in a Cell with flamage. It'll be awesome. So before we get out of here, I do want to tell everybody, first thing, tomorrow we will be live for MI Dub. That's where we're going to give you the results because we didn't do Rasslin Rage on Sunday because it was Father's Day. It was my day. I went and got steak and $5 Long Island iced teas. And then we have, so that's Tuesday. Then Thursday, Jeremiah Goldmane's coming on. We're going to talk about FU. And then Friday, I will be at FU and doing commentary. And then Saturday, I will be at XICW in Lincoln Park. And we'll be at the Sweet Daddy, or the Sheik and Sweet Daddy Malcolm Monroe Memorial Show. So we're pretty excited about that one, for sure. Back to Lincoln Park, lots of history there. And we'll be seeing DBA there in a match against Chuck Stein.
Yes, sir.
Should be a good time. So thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. And congratulations to Jamie Eternal and also to Davison Sarai. And we look forward to the end of Indie Idol, I guess. I don't look forward to it, but I mean,
It is.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody.
Flicker main event. Hey, this feels right? This is the unstoppable force piece, the immovable object. The two people seeded the highest, the most consistent. These are the two who've been scoring the highest. This is big anticipation. This is the big finale. You know what I mean? Let's sell it, baby. This is going to be awesome. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. And if you've been watching it up until this point, what a fitting final two.
Don't fuck up.
I don't know how you missed this.
Yeah.
That is, don't fuck up.
Don't
right?
fuck up. So because we're gonna
There it is.
We're gonna go through it. So thanks to DBA. Thank you, Mr. Johnny Delicious. Thank you to ABZ. And we will be back here in a couple weeks to do this again for the final. And you better come correct. All right, everybody. Check you later.
Take it easy, everybody.
Have a great night. And I hope to see you guys Friday and Saturday. Peace.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who